A very good evening to Mr. Ruben Arumugam, CEO of My Inspire. I am Jinita Madam from Summer Chinese High School, Tawa, your moderator for this event. Welcome to day 3 of BunCEE Week. It's a glad welcome we bring to you in this event. We would like you all to join us for a week and consider this is the third day of BunCEE Week in Malaysia where educators across the globe will be sharing their experiences and strategies for enhancing student management, along with innovative teaching practices that you can bring back to your class. These sessions will help you learn how to use BunCEE for remote, blended, or flipped instruction and beyond. My dear wonderful educators, today we have a good news for you. We would love to hear feedback from all of you. Tell us how you have used the ideas of participating in BunCEE Week and experiences using the wonderful BunCEE application by sharing your thoughts about it by creating a simple video within a minute length. So, once you have done your video, please send the video to Mr. Ruben Arumugan from his contact plus 60102457 or to his email ruben.arumugan@gmail.com before this Friday. The video produced by the winner will be announced and telecast on Friday itself. So happy filming everyone. Without further ado, let me introduce our aide of the program, Miss Ada. She is the strategy manager at BunCEE. She is passionate about improving access to quality education and engaging students in the STEM field, especially for underserved communities worldwide. Prior to BunCEE, she has worked in the public sector conducting scientific research and analysis, including the National Science Foundation as well as the Earth Institute at Columbia University in New York. So here I would like to pass over to Miss Ada to carry on this session. Hi, Miss Ada.
Hello, thank you.
How are
And
you?
first of all, Salamat Petang Malaysia. Welcome again to day 3 of BunCEE Week here in Malaysia. So if you're just tuning into this week, BunCEE Week here in Malaysia is a true celebration, an international celebration, if you will, where educators across the globe will be sharing different ideas, strategies, and learning practices that you could take back to really help you improve the different modalities of learning that you're bringing into your classroom. And so I'm excited to kick off the week, or kick off day 3 rather, with my colleague here, Cheryl Graff, who will be our presenter for today. And so if we haven't met yet, my name is Ida Jimenez, where I have the absolute honor and privilege here at BunCEE to just be able to connect and work with different educators across the globe to really just come up with different ideas where we can help to innovate the learning practice for our kids. And so with that, for this week's session, as you tune into all of the different sessions throughout this week, all of the topics that we have are actually led by different ambassadors in the BunCEE community, where they'll be sharing their different ideas and the creative strategies that they've brought into their classroom to make learning fun and engaging for students. And so for today's session, I'm really excited to kick off with Ms. Cheryl Graff, who will be sharing today how to make learning accessible for diverse learners. So in the previous sessions, as you followed along, if you've been here with us since day one we focused in on how to bring BunCEE as an overview into your remote learning practice as well as your blended and flipped instruction. Day 2 was focused on STEM learning, but today we're now going into making learning accessible for any sort of diverse learner. And so before we get started, especially if you're new to joining us today, I just want to reiterate some of the special surprises that we have for you in partnership with Inspire MY. I just want to share my thanks to Ruban and the Inspire team .my for hosting us. I think this is a really great experience for our educators to be able to just learn different practices that they could take back. And so with that, in partnership with Inspire.my, I just want to reiterate that as a participant to this session, you will have a special extended access code given to you, allowing you to access BunCEE for up to 120 days for free. So please stay tuned for the registration form at the end of the session and input all of your information so that you can actually get this special extended access code. Now, in terms of our giveaways, so if you are new to our session, we have some fun giveaways for you to get involved in. So first of all, as you come to join us, our hope here is that you'll be able to come up and learn different ideas for you to take back to your students and really help make learning fun. And so as you tune into each of the different sessions, I just want to reiterate some of the giveaways that we have in mind. So as you listen to a session, feel free to share with us on social media. I know my image here says Twitter, but if you want to share on both Twitter and Facebook, an idea that you've learned by listening to our special guest, Cheryl Graff today, share your idea that you've learned along with a photo of you tuning into the session. And be sure to tag BunCEE, hashtag BunCEE Malaysia, as well as 3 different friends, so that all of your friends can also learn all the different ideas that you've come to learn during this session. And so with that, I know we've been doing it every day, but I have to say, I've really been enjoying all of the fun tweets that everybody's been sharing. So thank you so much to everyone for tuning into the giveaways. I'm excited to see all the different ideas that you all are learning today. And I'll be sure to check on Twitter. But here are some of the fun ones that we came across among the so many that we had. So thanks for tuning in. But before anything, I did want to say we have another giveaway for today. So right now we've made it to day 3 of BunCEE Week. So my question that I want to address, the elephant in the room here. So have you created your first BunCEE? Because we've made it to day 3 and you've started to learn just different ideas that other folks have been using into their practice. And so I wanted to address that question and actually share some that are made by our community too. But as you tune into this session, I want to encourage you to actually share your first BunCEE. So if you've already started to create your account and create your BunCEEs, share it with us. And we'll also be giving you, we'll be picking 2 lucky winners for that. So share your first BunCEE, tweet it, send it as a tweet on Twitter, tag BunCEE, hashtag BunCEE Malaysia, and also tag 3 different friends. And just to kick off with some inspiration here, I want to actually share one, or 2 rather. One of our students, Kuganesh, if you're in the audience, feel free to chime in here. But Kuganesh, who's a young student of ours, 10 years old, has actually started creating his own BunCEEs. So thank you so much, Kuganesh, for the inspiration here. But another example I wanted to share, who, as everybody is starting to kick off their BunCEE work to bring back to their classroom, is by Chang also. So Chang also got started with his BunCEE creation. So I'm really excited to be able to see what everyone is starting to create and all of the different things that they're learning so that they could bring it back into their practice. And then lastly, one of the latest posts that we just released is from a fellow local out in Malaysia, Go Ming, who is from Malaysia, of course, but he's been using BunCEE in different parts to be able to engage his students remotely. So if you check out the BunCEE blog, you'll also start to see what he's been doing to bring BunCEE into his remote practice. So with that, I'm really excited to see what you all are about to create and how you get engaged with BunCEE to engage your students more deeply in the learning content. Oops. So give me a second right over here. But in any case, so as you participate in our giveaways, I just want to remind you that our hope here is that you'll be able to learn and inspire your students as well as your fellow teachers to just be able to make learning very fun and engaging, especially as we come to bring ourselves into our remote and blended learning environment where, there are different waters for us to be able to navigate as educators. And so with that, as part of our giveaway, if you win the giveaway, you'll actually have access to BunCEE for Schools for up to 5 different educators at your school, as well as be able to give, BunCEE and that creative opportunity to all of your students at your school. And so this is the prize that you'll be able to receive. So I really look forward to seeing your tweets, and also seeing your just first BunCEE creations if you are new to BunCEE. And so last but not least, I want to share that you will also receive a personalized certificate for tuning into our session. So if you had tuned in for day 1 and also day 2 of the BunCEE week, you should have received it in your inbox. That will include your name, the session you participated in, as well as the date that you tuned into the session. But in any case, you'll receive all of the certificates by the end of the session. And if you haven't received it in your inbox yet, take a moment, check maybe your spam, but otherwise send me a note, send me an email at eda@buncee.com, and we'll make sure to get that certificate to you. And so with that, before I pass off to our awesome presenter, Cheryl Graff, I just wanted to reiterate how you actually sign up for your account so that you can benefit from the extended access code. So if you head over to buncee.com, that's buncee.com, that will take you to a home page that looks like this. And so on this homepage, again, the URL is buncee.com, buncee.com. What you'll do is you'll head over to the right-hand top of your panel and press sign up. And once you hit sign up, what you'll do is press the button, the red button that says get started for free. And once you click that, you'll have the option to either sign up with your existing Google account, your existing Microsoft account, or you could type up and use one of your own emails as well. So that's how you get started with your account. And so with that, I'm excited to really pass the stage here to Cheryl. So more than anything, as I just want to introduce Cheryl for a moment. So Cheryl is an incredible educator based out in Illinois. So her focus is really on special education, really just making learning accessible no matter what the subject area is for our students. And so she's a true inspiration, has so many different creative ideas. And with that, Cheryl, I'm excited to pass the stage with you to take it on.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. So first off, I apologize that my camera is off. Eda and the BunCEE team, we were trying to figure this out during tech sessions. I will have my camera on for the end when you all ask me questions. My screen was freezing all over the place. And part of being a teacher, especially in my field as a special education teacher, you got to be flexible. So right now you only be able to hear me and see my presentation, but I see all of you. So thank you, BunCEE, for having me. Thank you, Ruban and Eda and the BunCEE team for having me. I'm so excited to be here. My name is Cheryl Graff, and as Eda mentioned, I am from Chicago, Illinois in the States, and I am a special education teacher. I've been teaching now, this is going to be my 4th year of teaching, and I'm very excited to share with you how I use BunCEE in the classroom. So give me a moment while I share my screen and get my presentation started here. So, all right, okay. So my presentation is using BunCEE to make instruction accessible for all students. And as I said, my name is Cheryl Graff, and I work with 9th graders. I work in a very unique setting. So we have in the States an arts high school. It is a public arts high school. So students come to us and they not only study academics, but they also study their art form. Which could be music, it could be dance, theater, it could be acting, it could be visual arts or creative writing. So on the next slide is my bio, all of the links. I have a slide later on at the very end. If you'd like to contact me, I'm on Twitter, I'm on LinkedIn. I even joined TikTok this summer because my students were very into it, and I'm always trying to keep up with the latest trend. A unique trait, or unique, I guess I went to a conference the other week, and we talked about our hidden talents. And a unique hidden talent that I always share with educators such as yourself, with my students, is that I'm not only a special education teacher, but I'm also a professional singer. So I put a link down here in the BunCEE to my YouTube channel. This summer I did a song a day challenge where I sang a, positive song to my students and to other audiences, just to give them, keep the positivity going, because during this time, there's just so much stress and challenging things going on in our lives. So I did a fun little song a day challenge. So I linked my YouTube here, lots of certifications. I'm a BunCEE ambassador. If you're familiar with Flipgrid, which is another amazing tool, I'm also an ambassador for Flipgrid, variety of certifications here. I'm a Google certified educator, so lots of background. But I don't want to spend too much more time on my bio. You can definitely check out all these links later on. So I want to continue on because I want to make sure we have time for everyone's questions and I can demo a variety of BunCEEs. So my next slide, there we go. My next slide is a pulse check. So this is actually a strategy that I use with my students in the classroom that I would love to share with you. So a pulse check is just to check in to see how you're doing. And I use this a lot in presentations as well, because I want to know how my audience is feeling. So in the chat box, if you would like, you don't have to, I'd like for you to type a word or an emoji that describes how you are feeling. So I will give you a minute to do that. Just how you're feeling today.
Hey Cheryl, Ida chiming back in here. Do you mind just getting back into the preview mode for your BunCEE so that it goes full screen?
Yes. Got it. Thank you for that.
Thank you.
Oh, it's trying to load. Okay. And I will go back to the right slide here. Okay, so hopefully you all have gotten a minute to just express how you're feeling. I hope that you are coming with positive vibes. If you are a little stressed, I understand, but hopefully my presentation will help you be inspired to continue or start using BunCEE with your students or for yourself. So I'm going to continue on with the presentation. So my objective today, I always include an objective, just like I'm in the classroom. We're going to learn strategies of how BunCEE can be used in your classroom with all learners, whether you're experiencing remote learning or in-person learning next school year. So we all don't know what, maybe we do, but I know in my situation, I don't know what next year is going to look like. But all of these strategies that I'm going to present to you today can be used with any type of learner. I have a very unique situation that I'm a special education teacher and I work with other teachers who are not special education teachers. And I've seen that the materials that I've made specifically for my students who have a variety of disabilities also work with students who don't have disabilities. So I'm going to continue on to the next page. So I wanted to put in a slide here how BunCEE can be used in any classroom setting. So when I've used BunCEE, I see that it helps all learners in the area of time management, executive functioning skills, and independent functioning, social emotional learning, and also personalized learning and academic review. So I have examples of BunCEEs that I have made. Not all of the examples that I've provided today will cover these areas, but I'm hoping to showcase some of the main ones, especially executive functioning and social emotional learning, and some personalized learning as well. So my next slide, this is the first example that I have to share with you. This is a BunCEE that I created because a lot of my students are continuing to work on executive functioning. Executive functioning is a skill, especially in high school, that is really hard to manage. A lot of students are transitioning from class to class. They have 4, 5, or 6 different teachers. In my situation at our school, the kids have 12 different teachers because they have their academic teachers and they also have their arts teachers. So creating a BunCEE where I post what they're doing in each class every night for homework, such as this BunCEE here, as you see, really helps the student figure out, okay, I did this activity in English, maybe I need to work on something for Spanish, maybe I need to work on something for health. So BunCEE can be used to really help practice those organization, executive functioning strategies that we want all of our students to learn as they continue through their education, but also as they move beyond the K-12 education. And at the bottom here, I always like to put in long-term projects. At the school where I work, we tend to have quite a few long-term projects. So I like to keep that in the back of students' minds, like, hey, maybe I should start working on this climate change project that's coming up. So this is one way where I help students with executive functioning. And as I mentioned before, this is not just helpful for our diverse learners, but it's actually really helpful for some of our non-diverse learners in the classroom who may be struggling with these, with executive functioning skills as well. So this is a planner. I actually took this template from BunCEE. So if you type in on the templates, and I'll show you that later, like agenda, I think it was either the word agenda or planner, I can't remember which one it was, but if you type that in, it actually comes up with this template, and I can edit the labels on the side here. So I changed like this yellow label to English, the green label to math, and so on and so forth. So that is an agenda. The next example is actually one of my favorites because a lot of the students that I work with are really struggling with their social emotional skills, being able to express how they feel. And I discovered this BunCEE template one day, and I said, this would be a great check-in, kind of like what I do with the pulse check at the beginning of this presentation. I also use this in my classroom. So what I did was I took this template and I actually changed those emojis at the bottom. I call them the candy emojis. So originally those emojis were in the shape of the BunCEE icon that we're all used to. And I thought, well, my students are ninth graders. I don't know how they're going to take looking at a little BunCEE icon, but I know a lot of them, like in the States, I'm not sure if they have it in Malaysia or other countries who are joining us. I'm not sure if they have Sour Patch Kids. My students are obsessed with those. So in the BunCEE, I found these little emojis, animated emojis that look like Sour Patch Kids. And I was like, this is perfect. So I just want to demo. I'm going to go into edit. So if a student receives this BunCEE, they will be able to drag, I got to go back to the slide, looks like. They will be able to drag the emoji. So if they're feeling angry, if they're feeling sad, I love this green one so much. I did this in my last webinar, so I'm going to move the green one. Green is my favorite color. So I call this the meh emoji. So the student can just drag the emoji into the box. It's really, really awesome. And students are not only expressing how they're feeling, but they get this hands-on work of social emotional learning, which I love. Now, wait for the next surprise. On the next page, so the student dragged their emoji. With BunCEE, you can also record a video. So if I wanted to record a video, I could press the plus sign over here. I could press record video, and you could have the student record how they're feeling. And we'll see if this works. Oh, maybe you could see my face. Hi. So here we go. I'm going to start recording. I know my camera's lagging a bit. Today, I'm just feeling so meh. It's kind of dark outside. I had to wake up early, but I'm so excited to be presenting to Malaysia, to be presenting with BunCEE, to be presenting with educators, but I'm just feeling kind of meh. Okay. All right. And that's how some of my students would actually probably record the video. So you can end the recording and then, Oh, my computer's freezing a little bit. You press upload. Give it a second. I think I've got so many tabs running. Ah, there we go. So you can drag the video into the box, and when you press preview, the student can send back this social emotional learning BunCEE to you, and you can play their video. And I think this would be so great, especially for educators such as myself who work with diverse learners. We can share this with other teachers that may work with the student. And this is just such a nice check-in. So I can play the video. Today, I'm just feeling so mad. It's kind of dark outside. I had to wake up early. But I'm so excited to be presenting to Malaysia, to be presenting with BunCEE. So I'm not going to play the whole video, but this is just a nice way where the student can really express their emotions by a hands-on, almost manipulative aspect where we're moving the animated BunCEE emoji, and then we're also recording. So students are also being able to express through video, and we can see their emotions. So that is my social emotional learning example. My next example really deals with personalized learning. In 9th grade, I don't know about in other countries, but in the States, in 9th grade, students have to take biology, the science of biology. And for my students, some of my students, it's great. They love biology, but for some of my students, the vocabulary is very daunting. There is a lot of vocabulary that goes into biology. So one of the things that I have made for my diverse learners is a word, picture, and definition chart that they can use to help them study these terms and really get to know these terms. So what I did was I took another BunCEE template, and the BunCEE template was basically the outline that you see of these pink dots and this tan background. The BunCEE template also had these 3 boxes, and I added text here. Like, what does this word mean? And I put in the definition. I put in the vocabulary word up here, which is organelle, which is a term in biology when we're talking about cells. And I put in a picture of what it looks like. And then on the next slide, if we wanted to tech it up a little bit, I added in a video for the students to describe what an organelle is.
Since it's Ms. Graff here, I want to give you an example of what an organelle is. So an organelle is basically a structure in a plant or animal cell that has a particular job. Let's think of our bodies for a moment. So our lungs help us breathe. That's their organelle, that's their function. If we want to talk about it in more scientific terms, another part that is in our body is a mitochondria. Mitochondria is a specific part in a cell.
So I'm not going to play the whole video, but I go on to describe different examples of organelles. So again, this could work not just for our diverse learner students, but this could work for students who are maybe struggling with the language, whatever language you're teaching in. Maybe they're having just a hard time grasping what an organelle is. So let's put in pictures, video, and text so that the student can piece it all together. Now, I know Ida mentioned to me that a lot of people are interested in a feature in BunCEE called the immersive reader. Immersive reader is really, really unique, and I'd love to model that. So let's say even with the picture, the video, the text, the student is just still really struggling to interpret your BunCEE. There is an icon up here. It's a little book and a speaker, and we can click on that. And the immersive reader will actually read to the student the slide.
Organelle. What does this word mean?
Now, let's say this text is, the student is really having an issue with reading this text. You can change the text preferences. You can change the size of the text to make it larger for the student. You can increase the spacing. You can change the font. So there's 3 different font options. I personally, coming from an EdTech perspective, like Sitka or Calibri, because to make it more accessible for a learner, such as a diverse learner with dyslexia, it has been known that fonts like this with the little feet or the little curves, if you see in the lettering, actually helps a student be able to interpret the text a little bit more clearly. You can change the themes, which I haven't really played. Ooh, that's really fun. I have not played around with the themes. So this is, green is not necessarily good for a student. There's research saying that green actually prevents them from comprehending the text. So I would avoid green. White is kind of your best bet. Now, if you needed to highlight something like yellow, yellow is a great color to use. Also, I believe, and Ida, if I'm mistaken, I thought there was a way you could change the language. Is it reading preferences? Yes, reading preferences here. So let's see if I can find Arabic. You can change the language of the text. Right now it's by word, but if you click on the entire document, it'll read the entire slide to you in that language.
ماذا تعني هذه الكلمة؟ صورة وفيديو.
So I think that's really cool that you can do all of these things with Immersive Reader. I believe there's a way to, you can also highlight parts of speech. It looks like I have not played around with this that much. There is syllables. So it looks like when I turned on the nouns, it highlights every noun in the text. If I go to, I thought there was a way to zoom in. Oh, looks like you can turn on, I thought there was another way to zoom in, but I can't find it right now. But it's Immersive Reader is just, it's a really, really amazing, amazing tool for our diverse learners or for any learner who's struggling with reading and comprehending. So I just wanted to show you that feature because I know there's been a lot of comments about that. So I'm going to move on to my next slide. And I'm sure there's a lot of questions coming in, and I should probably make this full screen so you all can see. So my next slide here is really unique. So I don't know if everyone knows that about BunCEE Boards, but I wanted to put it into my presentation. So as I mentioned, in the States, I teach with other teachers. We call this co-teaching. And what I love about BunCEE is that you can share your boards with other educators, with your students, with other school leaders who may be interested in BunCEE through a BunCEE board. And a BunCEE board, I kind of think of it as a Pinterest board, or for those of you who are familiar with the EdTech tool Wakelet, it's a lot like that. And I'm going to click on this link for you and show you a BunCEE board that I made. So here is a BunCEE board that I made for my diverse learner students. There's a math journal in here. There's a choice board that I kind of started. There's my planner that I showed you earlier on. There's a career presentation that I showed you, or I haven't showed you that, but now you see it. I have a Meet the Teacher. So you can add any BunCEE that you want to this BunCEE board. And then you can share this BunCEE board with your students. So you can press, I haven't created any sections yet, but you could add a section. So if you created like your own classroom section on BunCEE, you can add that section and share it with your students, or you can share it with your colleagues or other school administrators through a variety of social media apps. I love the email feature of BunCEE. And, I was going to, the email feature of BunCEE, which I can show you later on when we create the BunCEE is really,
Cheryl?
yeah.
I just wanted to note, I think you didn't share your board, just
Oh,
because
no.
it's a different tab. Yeah.
Oh, it's in a different tab.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I think if you change your shares setting.
Okay. Yep. Sorry about that. Okay. I forgot that it opened another link. Thank you. See, we're being flexible. Okay. Let me go back to sharing my screen. Give me 1 second. Yeah, I think it opened up in a different tab. Okay. So here we go. All right, now hopefully you should see it. Sorry about that. So this is my BunCEE board, as I mentioned before. Here are all of the BunCEEs that I've added to it. So my a math journal that I made, a choice board, the planner that I showed you earlier in the presentation, a career board that I made for my students, and meet the teacher. So as I was saying before, you can share this with your colleagues, with your students. So if you click on the share button, you can share it with colleagues or school leaders through a variety of social media platforms and email. You can share it with your students. If you have a specific section, a specific class that you've made on BunCEE, you can share it. I don't have that. I mean, I haven't made a section. I like to share a link to it. I find that my students, again, with their executive functioning, it really helps them practice how to open an email, how to access a link. What I also love is this QR code. So you can download this QR code and put it into your BunCEE. And I'm going to go back to the other screen. So let me share my screen again and show you how I put in the QR code to my BunCEE. I downloaded the QR code as an image and put it onto this BunCEE board. So if you have a phone, such as an iPhone, in your camera app, you can hold up the camera and it'll scan that QR code and take you directly to the BunCEE board. So I love BunCEE Boards. It's a great collaboration tool, and I highly, highly recommend it. It's excellent. Okay, so we are getting to the point in the presentation now where we get to create a BunCEE. And I wanted to put in my presentation an opportunity where you would see me creating a BunCEE live. And to make this a little bit more exciting, as I do in my classroom, I like to think of this as a little game. So give me 1 second while I share my screen. Let me stop sharing for a second because I have a link open. This is really fun. This is another EdTech tool. I love, if you haven't noticed by now, I love sharing EdTech tools, and I love integrating other apps besides BunCEE. I love integrating them all together. So I found, oh, I need to stop sharing a minute. Hold on, because I've got to put on the audio. I want you to hear the audio for this. Share audio. Here we go. All right, this tool, really cool. I don't know if anybody has used this tool. This is a wheel, and it's called wheelofnames.com, and it is free to use. And I generated a spinner with another BunCEE ambassador who I will be presenting with in a couple of weeks. And we found this tool, and it is pretty amazing. So I'm going to spin this spinner, and it is going to tell us what type of BunCEE I'm going to be creating live here on this webinar. So we'll see which one it lands on. Ah, looks like virtual classroom. And it pops up, it's got a little applause. I love it, and the students love it too. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen for a moment, and it looks like we're going to be creating a virtual classroom. So I need to go and open up a new BunCEE. So give me 1 second. Uh-oh, I think my computer froze for a minute. All right, I need to share my dashboard. So we are going to, I want to have some time for questions because I know we're running short on time, but I do kind of want to start the virtual classroom if that's okay. Ida, if I can just start one, I won't be able to finish it because I want to get some questions answered, but we can start one. So here is my BunCEEs. As you can tell, I'm also very into organization here.
No worries about the time. You have plenty of time to share.
Oh, okay. I realized that we were running short on time, so I just want to make sure that people get their questions answered. I don't want to cut anyone off. So as you can tell, I'm very organized, and I think that a lot of my colleagues say that's what makes me a strong special education teacher, because I'm so organized. I tend to put things in folders, as you can see. That's a wonderful thing about BunCEE as well that I forgot to mention. You can make folders here. So if I click on new folder, I can add whatever title I want, and you can add a folder and it looks something like this, and you can drag your BunCEEs to the folder, which is excellent. But I'm just gonna create a new BunCEE right here. Oh, and I think I'm gonna have to share my screen again because it opened a new tab. So stop sharing. Forgot about that. Give me 1 second. Thank you all for your flexibility and patience.
Hey there, Cheryl.
Yeah.
If you want to just share your full screen, I think that will make it easier for you.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think it would be easier too. Yeah, because I keep okay, let me share audio. Okay, entire screen. That is a good idea. Okay. Can everyone see? Ida, can everyone see this? Because I press entire screen. Can everyone see where I'm at? I hope.
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Okay, so I press the add new BunCEE, and I'm on the BunCEE main page, and I'm just going to start from scratch because I want to show you some templates here. So I started from scratch, and we're making a virtual classroom. So I want to change the background, and I'm going to click here to change the background. And I'm going to type in a keyword classroom to see what comes up. Ooh, and there's so many interesting options. I love this one with the carpet. So I'm going to press this page. And this is just so nice because if I was working on a Google Slides, I would have to add in all of these things separately. Like I'd have to add in the brick wall here, the globe. I love how BunCEE has these set templates, and it saves me time as a teacher to add in more text or pictures or videos, more important learning tools. Not saying that the backgrounds aren't important, but having set templates like this available on BunCEE for me really helps me focus on making instructional materials accessible for my students. So let's say now we have our classroom background. I want to add in some text. So I clicked on the plus sign and I clicked on the text, and oh, sometimes you got to search for it. It's right here. I'm going to double click and I'm going to say, welcome to Miss Graff's room. To Miss Graff's room. And you can scale the text. You can change the font size. So maybe I want it to be, I like to keep it accessible. So maybe I want it to be Arial, and I forgot that I have to highlight the text to change it. There we go. And I do like some of the fonts on here, but especially for our diverse learners, we really want to make sure that they can read it and we don't go too complex for them. So maybe welcome to Miss Graff's room, and I can tweak that later and scale it later. Now maybe I want to add in some animations. So I'm going to press the add sign, and I want to see if I can find students. Oh, we've got a lot of options here. I really like this one where students are sitting on their computers and they look like they're doing academic work. That is excellent. As a special ed teacher, I always want to model that. And I love these animations because they actually move too. And I will show you in the preview when we get there. So I put in an animation. Maybe I want to add in some text. I love these BunCEE messages or BunCEE stickers. Let's go to the BunCEE messages, and I'm going to type in welcome and see what we get. Oh, welcome back. I like that. So we're going to add that because maybe it's the start of the school year and I'm trying to make something fun. So we've got our welcome back sign, and we can scale that, make it look pretty. We can rotate it too. But I think I'm just going to put it underneath here. And then I do want to add in, I want to see if I can try and find a sticker of like some sort of sticker of a student of some sort or a computer. So let's see what we've got. Oh, my computer decided to freeze on me. Let me go back. Let's see, computer. But I think that's going to be more under the BunCEE animations, but we'll try. We'll try. Oh, we've got a nice computer here. So I like this one. There's a bunch of interesting computers, and oh, I like this one. Oh, this one's nice. Oh, I like this one a lot. See, there's so many options. This is how my mind works when I'm looking at BunCEE. There's so many options here. I love this one. So we can add the students, and maybe we don't want them. Maybe I can put them on the table. Maybe they shouldn't be on the table. So let's move them to the carpet. But sometimes there are students who want to sit on tables, you know, and I'm flexible with that in my classroom. Sometimes students want to sit on the floor and they learn best by focusing on the floor. Sometimes they need a platform to sit on. So that is my classroom, virtual classroom. I can add in more things. If I wanted to add in a link, I don't have a link up yet, but all I have to do is highlight the text and click at the bottom here and add in a link. I can change the style. There's a lot of things that I can do with BunCEE, but I also wanted to give you a preview of this, just to show you. Oh, I've got to add on a title. Miss Graff's Virtual Classroom. Done. Looks like it's having me. Okay, so I want to give you a preview of what it looks like, because sometimes the things that you add, you always want to make sure that they look good when you preview it. At least that's for me. I always like to just double check and make sure things look good, or if I have to move things around, I want to see it in preview mode to know what I'm sharing with my students before I share it. So as you can see, I love these animations. Like the characters are moving, looks like they're hard at work, which is great. Now these are stickers. So the stickers are going to remain stationary. They do not move. And my title remains stationary. But this is just really, really a really fun way to make a virtual classroom, especially if you don't know what your situation is going to look like in the future. A virtual classroom is a great way to go. I want to go back to my presentation. Or actually, before I do that, Ida, should I show them how to share it? I probably should show them how to share it. So if you want to.
Why don't you do that?
Yeah. So before I go back and give you an opportunity to ask questions, I wanted to show you how to share this. So let's say this is my virtual classroom. I'm done. I want to share it with my students, with other colleagues, with families. I go up here and press share. And there is codes. So you can share the link to the BunCEE. If you have a website, you can copy this embed code and paste it into your website. If there are other BunCEE users, you can find them here under the tab that says Share with BunCEE Users. If it's an invitation, there's some really cool birthday card greetings that I've found on BunCEE. You can send an RSVP. I have used BunCEE for, other activities like birthday parties and greeting cards for my fellow colleagues who maybe are having a rough week in school, and I've sent them some nice greeting cards. And you can share by email. And I love the email feature, which is really great. So you can send an email And you can also check the status of an email. You can send it through any type of social media, so Facebook, Twitter, Google Classroom, Pinterest, LinkedIn, Microsoft Teams. Or the real pitch is you can download it as a PDF. So if your student is struggling with technology, you can download it and share it to them as a file, which is excellent. So there are so many ways that you can share BunCEE. It's fantastic. And I absolutely love it. I hope that I have given you all great tools that you can take back to your classroom. I really like to focus not on just tools in BunCEE, but tools and best practices overall that you can use with a variety of students, or our diverse learners, as I call them. So I'm going to go back to my presentation, and I'm going to make it full screen. In my presentation, if it'll load, I did make a TikTok video of resources that I love that also really sync well with BunCEE, or you can use outside of BunCEE. I always like to share EdTech resources here. So I made a list of my favorite tech tools, and I also made a really fun video that I can show you. It's very, very quick. Let's see if I can make this full screen. I don't know if people can see it. It looks like it's lagging a little bit, but if you go to my YouTube page, you'll be able to see it. Uh-oh, I think I stopped sharing my screen. Hold on one second.
No, you're good.
I'm good. Okay. I couldn't see the little icon, so I was worried that I stopped sharing my screen. It looks like the video is kind of lagging a bit, but if you go onto my YouTube page, you can definitely see that. So I want to take this opportunity to give people time to ask questions. Again, I hope that everything that I've shared with you is useful, or that you're able to take away one tool, one strategy when using BunCEE. Here is my main contact information. I'm very active on Twitter. I'm accessible through email, moderately active on LinkedIn. I need to be checking LinkedIn more often, but Twitter and email are the best places to reach me. Before we get into questions, though, I did want to advertise. I am going to be presenting in a couple of weeks with a fellow BunCEE ambassador. She is also a special education teacher. On August 4th at 6 p.m. Eastern, 10 p.m. GMT, we are presenting a presentation called "It's All About the Space, Making Instruction Accessible for All Learners." This is part of a conference that BunCEE in the States is hosting called Creative Beginnings. There are wonderful, wonderful BunCEE ambassadors besides myself and besides Melissa. I really wanted to advertise that. We have put both our heads together, and if you really enjoyed this presentation about making material accessible for all learners, Melissa works with lower elementary students. So both of us have come together and really have made an excellent presentation to give our learners in this webinar a variety of tools for lower elementary, middle school and high school, which is my focus, and then also adult learners. We're going to be talking about how to make BunCEE spaces for our adult learners, for you all as educators. So hopefully you can join. I believe, Ida, that's on the BunCEE website, right? Registration?
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, and there's going to be several different sessions similar to this BunCEE Malaysia, how you all have different sessions. There's going to be lots of different sessions, not just about accessibility, but I just wanted to highlight an upcoming presentation that I'm doing. And Melissa is fabulous. She and I are wonderful special education teachers. We're both really thinking outside the box and using our creativity to really make learning accessible and really make BunCEE accessible for all learners that we work with. So I would love to take questions. and I probably should stop sharing my screen. I can try and turn on the camera and see if it works. I don't know. Should I turn on the camera, Ida, and see if
Yeah,
it?
why don't we give it a try?
Okay,
You know,
I'll try and see if it works. I was having a lot of lagging. Yeah, it's lagging a little.
It's okay. I just have to say thank you, honestly, for all the information you just shared. I love your energy. I think the ideas are amazing. And I can tell from our group here who's participating live, they love the ideas that you have shared too. So really kudos to you for everything that you've done, as well as helping us really learn how to do our work much better. So I think you have a little bit of a lag on your video,
yeah,
but
I'm gonna try and turn off the camera.
yeah.
My screen is actually freezing right now. I'm sorry, y'all. I wish I could. Honestly, I'd love to have like the camera on and so you can all see my face. But technology, as I said, we got to be flexible. That's part of education.
And that's totally true. And I think in part that actually speaks to, some of the power behind BunCEE too, because when we think about our students, especially in terms of accessibility as a focus of access, sometimes we will have these tech issues. So we want to think about how to build synchronous environments as well.
Absolutely. Yep.
Yeah.
And works so well with that. You can share it offline. I've had many occasions where my students, they're lacking internet access. Maybe they're struggling at home and I've been able to share a BunCEE and they've been able to access it, So yeah, we gotta be flexible. So I'd be happy to take questions, Ida, if you
yeah, so we've received a bunch. So our team was able to sort of navigate some of them, but there were ones that I did want to highlight that, can get a little more depth. So one, of course, because we do have app smashers here as usual.
Yeah.
What was the URL, if you could repeat it, for your wheel?
I got to look at the tab. It's wheelofnames.com. If you Google search like wheel generators or name generators, there are tons out there. That one is really fun. And I found that through a simple search online, but there's tons of them. That one is called wheelofnames.com. But if you just search like name generator, you can find some really, really fun ones out there. So,
all right.
Yeah.
No, that's awesome. And then we just had a question too, a little more in depth here, but it still speaks to the asynchronous part or component. So it's, can we create a program book on BunCEE or a pamphlet using BunCEE and then distribute that with a QR code? So in a real sense, the answer is yes. So I think more of that question is, as you create a content on BunCEE, whether it's a pamphlet or, a learning packet, you'll be able to actually add a QR code into your BunCEE. And then if you decide to print it, hand it out to your students, so that they have access to it at home, they'll be able to scan that QR code and then, see the live version of that BunCEE.
The templates, remember when I was searching like virtual classroom, on the side there are headings that could help you search a little bit easily. Like I believe for this presentation, for this webinar BunCEE that I put together, I actually went under the professional column. I believe there's a section called flyer and it has pamphlet backgrounds that you can choose. If not, you can just type in the keyword, like click on the background, change the background and just type in the keyword that I did. And I'm sure it'll pop up for you.
Yeah, I mean, actually, that might dial a little bit into our next question. So in your example, I know that you also searched for a background. So someone actually asked, can you create a background from scratch using BunCEE?
I believe so. I'm the type of person, I haven't really played around with that because I'm the type of person as a special ed teacher, I want to focus on making sure the content is accessible. So I just like using the prescribe templates, the ones that are available to me, but I believe you can.
Yes, the answer is definitely yes. So you have a few options here as BunCEE users. One is that if you want to just get started and you're like, I don't need someone else's ideas, you could totally do so. That BunCEE canvas is your blank canvas for you to be able to speak about your creativity the way that you want. So if you want to create your background from scratch or your entire BunCEE from scratch, you could totally do so. At the same time, I think that shares a little bit about our templates library and ideas lab. So if you haven't tuned into the last sessions, you have access to the templates library as well as ideas lab. Cheryl, I don't know if you want to just take a quick moment to show them that, especially since you put flyers.
Yeah, let me share my screen again. I'll just do entire screen. Okay, I'm going to go to the dashboard and see if oh, here it is, Ideas Lab. Okay, so there's and I've actually used, I need there that you can pull from BunCEE. If you wanted to search by topic, so let's say, I teach English, so I'm gonna, oh, whoops. So I teach English, so I can check that box. And let's say you want to filter it by grade levels. So I teach high school, so I want to filter it by high school. So the Ideas Lab basically is BunCEE's created by other educators or BunCEE ambassadors or the BunCEE team. And they give you the template and then they give you a description. So I'm just going to read the first one that popped up on my screen. It says, create a BunCEE book bento. Book bentos are a fun twist on a book review, and a BunCEE book bento is a great way to have all the fun of a book bento in a virtual setting. Students can use the BunCEE book bento backgrounds or stickers. You can copy this one or search bento under backgrounds or stickers, then add text, video, audio, stickers, animations, or whatever you choose to represent. So when it tells you who submitted it, and before making a copy, and I've done this before, I love how you can view it. Or did I just click on copy? I thought you could view it, or do I need to click on?
You can view it. So it looks like you decided, yep, go ahead.
Okay, did I make a, nope, I didn't make a copy. Yeah, I was good. Okay, I wasn't sure because it was taking me to another tab. So I thought I made a copy of it. So this is me viewing it. So you can view and click on the variety of links that are here. If I wanted to decide to add it to my BunCEE dashboard, then up in the right-hand corner here, I can press copy. This is actually really, really cool. I wonder who created this. This is really fantastic. And there's little links here. So it looks like they have something like an animation.
Book report by Mrs. Q.
Okay, so she's added some audio here.
The microphone symbolizes Olive's
Oh,
participation
whoops,
in the
they're
talent
playing
show.
it once.
She decides that she wants to participate by being the MC for the talent.
Yeah, so you can just explore the BunCEE before you make a copy. So the Ideas Lab, definitely a great place to explore if you're new to BunCEE, or maybe you are just struggling with some ideas. You want to create an interactive English lesson, you can come to the Ideas Lab. But there's several different topics here. I just picked English because that's one of the subjects that I teach, but it looks like they have summer activities, social media, school communications. I know someone was mentioning, I think earlier, about flyers. So you could click on school communications. And, oh, I still have the English one checked off, I think. So I got to check that one there. So it'll come up with fun ways to communicate things to your students, maybe to your administrators, app smashing. So if you like to smash put other apps together in your BunCEEs, it'll give you those ideas. So yeah, Ideas Lab, it's excellent. I haven't used it that much. I've been using more of the template aspect of BunCEE, but it's great.
Yeah, and then I just wanted to, I know we reached our end of time here. There was one last question related to, BunCEE creation. So, writing in Arabic, I think, is really what it speaks to. So someone had asked about, writing the welcome back in Arabic. And so just to clarify, as you create your BunCEE, you can actually type in the language of your keyboard. So it's not limited to just, having to write in English. If you decide to write in Chinese, you could totally do so as well. So it's really dependent on the language of your keyboard. But more than anything, I think we've covered our questions, beyond those that were actually written down in chat. So one, I just really want to share my thanks and appreciation for you taking the time to share it. I know it's early morning for you too. But yeah, so I think just to sort of close it, one is we just dropped the link to register on the screen here. So it's bit.ly/BunCEE day 3. And so on this form, please be sure to write all of your information down. We'll be able to use this to actually give you your personalized certificate. And at the same time, you'll also be able to get that special access code if you haven't registered it yet, as part of day 1 and day 2 of the BunCEE week itself. But in any case, we'll also be sharing some additional resources for you. So I know in the comments, somebody had actually asked if we could share your presentation. Is that okay with you, Cheryl?
Yeah, that is totally fine. Yeah, if you want access to it, absolutely. I believe I made it copyable. I just ask that if you are going to share like links, like especially my YouTube stuff, if you just give me credit, that would be very nice. But I'm happy to share resources. I'd love to connect with anybody through a variety of social medias. I'm definitely looking this year, especially in the States. We don't know what our learning situation is going to be. I want to do more global collaboration. So if anyone else uses like Flipgrid or Wakelet or wants to do a global project with me, especially service learning, I've been doing learning a lot through National Geographic and their service learning course. So if anybody wants to reach out and maybe do a project this year, I would love to do that or connect or, just want to share. I'd be happy to do that. Yeah, absolutely. I believe I made the presentation copyable on BunCEE, so I can double check though, just to make sure.
All right.
But I'm happy. And thank you again, Ida, the BunCEE team, Ruban, everyone for coming. I see some great conversation. Yeah. So I'm so grateful to present to all of you, and hopefully this was helpful. And like I said, you gained a tool or a strategy or something useful. So please stay in touch.
And we absolutely did. So honestly, thank you so much. So again, the registration form is there for your attendance. And we're looking forward to seeing you at tomorrow's session. So tomorrow's focus will be now on enhancing literacy with BunCEE. So you'll hear from our dear friend and BunCEE ambassador, Shannon Miller, who is a district teacher librarian too. So thank you so much, Cheryl. I think we've learned so much from you. And honestly, I'm so appreciative of your time. And with that, let me pass it over to you, Ms. Delega.
Thank you, Ms. Aga and Ms. Cheryl, for your great explanation about using BunCEE. Dear viewers, please stay tuned for our tomorrow session. And we want you to subscribe our YouTube channel, myinspire.my channel, to know more information about BunCEE. Check your attendance form based on the link that is appearing on the screen. And then we would like to hear the feedback from you. So tell us how you have used the ideas of participating in BunCEE Week and experiences using the wonderful BunCEE application by sharing your thoughts about it by creating a simple video within a minute length. So please send the information from the link is on the screen. Send your video to ruben.rubugam@gmail.com and share it in the social media such as Twitter or Facebook page with the hashtag BunCEEWeek or feedback BunCEE. Then don't forget to check our BunCEE Twitter page to check for the winners list after an hour of this event. Dear beloved educators, once again, I would like to remind you to stay tuned for tomorrow's event with another exciting information about BunCEE. Till then, we'll catch up with you all tomorrow. Bye.
Bye, everyone.
Thank you so much. Bye.